What's up? What's up? We are going to do a reaction video to Black Balloons, Portals of Darkness, and I've seen it before, but it's Noah's first time seeing it. But I know all about it and what's gonna happen soon with the computers and quantum computing, especially.
Alright, let's get to it.
All right, let's get to it. And the guy. Okay, yeah. Let's. It's Black Balloon! Shout out Black Balloon, we love you! Shout out Black Balloon! It's a long intro, eh?
Yeah.
So you can't even see my smoke? You can't even see it. Baby. Mandela effect.
Did you see the playoffs? His knee was down. They don't even deserve to be in there.
It would be better.
That's two chatbots talking to each other.
It would be better if there were fewer people on this planet.
That's just what they start saying to each other.
This world back into the abyss.
Let us send this world back into the abyss.
It's like two Alexas talking to each other.
Artificial intelligence. Now, most of us, when we think of artificial intelligence, we think of some form of entertainment. We think of something fun, a video game, or some application that uses artificial intelligence. It's been presented to the public in that way because there is actually something behind the scenes that most people aren't aware of. When it's presented to us as entertainment, as something that is usable for us, that kind of softens the blow of what their real agenda is.
Exactly.
Their real agenda is actually shown to us very clear. Very clear. As a matter of fact, when you look at the movie industry, they've given us bits and pieces of information that relates to artificial intelligence. And those bits and pieces of information, again, are presented to us in some form of entertainment. And so, when the real agenda finally unfolds, we are kind of dumbfounded because it was there. They could use the whole idea of, well, we told you, we showed you, it was in the movies, it was in the music. I would even say
Terminator.
that all of systems or phone systems are some form of artificial intelligence as well.
Of course
so since we are surrounded by it, most people, when they actually pull the curtain off of their real agenda, are going to be like, well, it was to be expected. But they don't understand that there is something that artificial intelligence is going to do that's going to interrupt their whole flow of life.
Where are they going with this new technology? They want to create a perfect thinking computer by impressing the minds of millions of people, their habits and actions on an artificial brain.
That's what they're all trying to do.
Man is full of flaws, but they want to create an artificial intelligence after the mind of men.
Yep.
Let us create God in our image. Do you see where they're going with this? In an article titled, Google and CERN partnering on future Large Hadron Collider storage needs, quantum computing.
And you know what the CERN is, though, right?
Exactly.
It's the particle smasher.
Yeah.
And man, like, there's so many things on CERN you have no idea about how, like, even just where it's built is, like, on the sacred ground and stuff. And those tunnel openings, you know, when they open sections of it, they do those things. Like, what the hell are they doing? They're trying to, like, bring something out of another dimension. That's what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
And because, like, this is what I always say about CERN. Like, I actually Googled it myself. and it's like 35,000 people work there, like 10,000 are scientists, okay, at this certain place that's never done anything for humanity, and it's like, who's paying them and why? That's what you got to think of, right? Like, why would all these scientists, all the best scientists in the world, be working here for what? They don't even know themselves. They don't even know themselves.
Yeah.
But who's paying for it and why?
Billionaires.
Who is paying for it and why?
Billionaires who want to stay alive for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like,
That's it.
because, like, there's, you know, starving kids. Like, I mean, like, it's just, I don't know. Like, unless it was really extremely important, they want to put the best minds to work at this thing, right? Like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Google today signed an agreement with the European Organization of Nuclear Research to collaborate on joint research and development, more commonly known as CERN. The premier physics lab will be working with Google on quantum and cloud computing, as well as machine learning.
That's fucking
Machine
crazy.
learning? What is this machine trying to learn? So this machine can learn? Are you understanding what they're doing here? Think about this, right? It goes on to say that Google finds these data management, analysis, and processing challenges exciting, and has already been working with the U.S. Fermilab and the Brookhaven National Laboratory, BNL, to store and analyze data from the LHC using the Google computer engine. Now I have a question for you. If CERN was just a particle collider, then why is it trying to learn from Google?
Why?
There are over 1.2 million terabytes of information on the net, and they want to plug this into CERN. CERN is a quantum computer, an artificial intelligence that they are trying to boost its machine learning. Technology is actually trying to evolve through quantum entanglement, which is actually demon possession.
Yeah! Quantum entanglement is a phenomenon seen when two or more particles link up in a certain way, no matter how far apart they are in space. And it's true, I know. Their states remain linked. That means they share a common unified quantum state. So observations of one of the particles can automatically provide information about the other entangled particles. Regardless of the distance between them and any action, one of these particles will impact the other in an entangled system. Like, it's crazy. And you know how quantum computers work?
Yeah. They manipulate atom, bro.
But they work by if you don't observe the what is happening, it can be a 0 or a 1. And that's how it works, because it can just because it can be a 0 or a 1, 8 bytes, because like in regular computing it has to be a 0 or a 1, right? It's binary code, whatever code. But in quantum computing, that bit can be a 0, a 1, or like something in between. So it's like when you get like 8 of those bits for a byte, or 10 of those bits for a byte or whatever, it's like one of them can outperform like the top supercomputer in the world. Even just like one of those bits, those quantum bits, and they'll explain it all here, man. It's crazy, and they're like already on sale. They're already around the world.
What the fuck? Really?
You'll see.
Now we've seen it in the science fiction
It gets better, bro.
movies, the evolving of technology, and we were entertained by it. But now this fiction has become a reality.
Summoning the demon, that's what they're doing. That's what they're trying to do. What are they doing at CERN? They're dude.
Gordy Rose.
Even the CERN symbol is a 666. Like you'll see, dude. It's insane.
Is a founder and CTO of
It's like their
E-Wave.
fucking thing.
He is known
Was
as
it?
the leading advocate for quantum computing and physics-based processor design.
So he's the
The
leading
D-Wave
scientist.
computer is a quantum computer.
From Canada.
Sends information into another dimension in order to receive information back
Watch
with
this,
greater
bro.
power. The D-Wave quantum computer is supposed to be smarter,
Everyone should
faster,
watch this.
and more intelligent than anyone or anything in this dimension. And it is being fed this information from
That means our
demons.
whole universe, bro, it's
From
smarter
the
than
spirit
not just
realm.
people on Earth.
Exactly.
So what does this have to do with aliens? So,
I know it's hard to believe, but this is literally the guy he was just talking about. So this is the head scientist, the head guy of quantum computing, okay? And he builds them in BC, like we live close to BC. They're people, we live in Canada. And it's cool because rappers always shout us out. Just remember that. Every time a rapper says, "Hey," he's shouting out Canada. That's a
You
conspiracy.
better know.
Yeah. So, anyways, but so just keep this in mind because that's why he was kind of trying to tell you before. Like, this guy is the head of quantum computing in the world. He's the only one that has a quantum computer people can actually buy, and Google's been using it for like 10 years already. Okay, but so this is the first thing he says. Imagine we received a message from an alien civilization which read, "People of Earth, we will arrive on your planet in 50 years, get ready." And now we're just counting down the months until the mothership arrives. Do you understand that?
Months to the mothership arrive?
No, listen, so the way you should think about quantum computing is exactly what he's saying here. Imagine received a message from an alien civilization. That's the super smart computer in the future. Okay? It says it's going to be here in 50 years. They're talking about the computer that's going to be here in 50 years. It says, get ready, and now we're just counting down until the mothership arrives. That's what we're doing right now. Because as soon as that happens, man, as soon as it becomes self-aware and becomes immediately 100 million times smarter than us, that's from the leading scientist at Google itself, that Richard Kurzweil, that book I gave you, bro.
Yeah.
He says that as soon as it becomes self-aware, it's 100 million times smarter than any human, bro.
Yeah.
We're like ants in brain power compared to like a quantum computer that's self-aware. And that's what we should be getting ourselves ready for, is how to interact with this machine when it becomes self-aware. And
What's
how...
the fucking purpose of it if...
Because they think it can make them rich. They think it can end world hunger. They're thinking of it, you know, I don't think they're necessarily trying to build it for the wrong reasons, but they're building it for the simple reason of, you know, it's getting impossible to put any more things on a CPU, any more transistors on a CPU, right? There's nowhere, like, computers gonna come grinding to a halt. You know how they keep making new processors and stuff? It's getting slower because they can only do so much, and quantum computers like the next step up. They're just trying to figure out how to interact with it and use it right now. Like in computers, it's binary code, right, when it comes down to it, but like programmers use hexadecimal. Like, so we use metric or whatever, and if you're programming a computer, you got to use hexadecimal, and it's like a programming language because it's easier to program that than in binary, and it's like a halfway point between humans and computers, right? So when you're programming computers, but they haven't figured out that code to really get it to do what they want it to do. It can barely solve like a math equation right now. But as soon as they know how to use it, that's when it's... But this is the guy that made him right here. So he's not a conspiracy theorist. He's the actual guy that made him. So whatever this guy's saying is true.
Sam Harris, who I quite admire, is a very interesting guy, was reciting this parable at a TED Talk that he was giving. And it goes something like this. So, I am, say I'm the President of the United States. So I received this message from the heavens. So my microwave dish, my SETI dish, finally captures something. And what it says is, in 50 years, or 13 years, we're coming to your planet. You gotta be ready. Now just imagine what would happen if that happened. A super intelligent alien race
Everyone would be getting ready.
beamed down a message to
Everyone.
all of us Earthlings saying, we're coming July 13th, 2030, and boy, you better be ready because the mothership is landing right on the front lawn of the White House or wherever you want it to land on that day. The amount of resources that would be marshaled to try to figure out what to do would encompass the whole world. AI is just like that. So when this thing that I'm talking about happens, it's going to be exactly the thing that you're thinking about those super intelligent AIs. So the one thing I can tell you is they're not going to be like us. So alien means, different. These things that we're building are not going to be people. They might be really smart, they might be really good at all sorts of different things, but they're not going to be like us. They're going to be aliens. And they're going to be, I'm sorry to say, way smarter than every single person in this room.
Sorry, that's the last time I saw it for a while, but what humans on Earth don't understand right now is that, like, we think we are really smart because of computers and the internet and stuff, and it's like when you compare us to how we'll be in like 20 years when you got a brain chip implanted, we will be like ants compared to ourselves. Like, no one with the chip in their brain that works will even talk to someone without a chip in their brain because it's pointless. You know what I mean? Because anything you need to know can be downloaded to your brain.
Exactly.
So you can, like, do a tech job and just download the course to your brain, and like you know what I mean. But that's why he's saying, like, we got to start doing that because because a computer will be 100 million times smarter because it can process information so much faster and all that stuff, right? Like, and take in all that information. So it'll still, but then we have a chance to compete with it. Then we have a chance for it not to kill us all. Because if you think about it, if any plant, if anything became self-aware, it would be like, okay, what is the best thing we can do for this planet? And the number one first thing it would do is exterminate humans.
Yeah, basically you're fucking making your enemy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. And if we're not its slaves, then it'll just destroy us. The only reason something that smart would keep us around, that it could just update itself. It'll just build robots that are 1 million times smarter than us. You know, and it'll be like the only reason it'll keep us around would be for some kind of slave labor.
Exactly.
There's nothing else. But okay, I'll try to stop stopping it. But
in ways that we can't even comprehend. So this, of course, triggers a lot of alarm. One of the guys who talks about this is Elon, who says things like this, like, when you do this, beware.
I mean, with artificial intelligence, we are summoning the demon. You know those stories where there's the guy with the pentagram and the holy water, and he's like, yeah, he's sure he can control the demon. It didn't work out.
Eh?
There will be no hell 9,000.
No, every time someone summons a demon in a movie, yeah, it's like, oops.
9,000 would be easy.
First thing it does is like,
It's way more complex than, I mean, to put hell 9,000 to shame. Yeah. Sounds like puppy dog.
But these words, demons,
hey baby
doesn't
boy,
capture
come on.
the essence of what's
Come
happening
here.
here.
Well, you want to go in there?
I don't know if any of you are
Stinker bite.
turn of the century weird
cold?
fiction fans, but there's this guy
I'll be
named
right
H.P.
back.
Lovecraft. He's a very famous American weird fiction author. And he espoused a view which is called cosmicism. And the essence of cosmicism is cosmic indifference. So what he was saying is basically, yes, there are these massively intelligent entities out there, but they're not good, they're not evil. They just don't give a shit about you even in the slightest. The same way that you don't care about an ant is the same way they're not going to care about you. And these
Why would
things
they?
that we're summoning into the world now are not demons, they're not evil, but they're more like the Lovecraftian great old ones. There are entities that are not necessarily going to be aligned with what we want.
Wait a minute. Did I just hear Gordy Rose say that the entities they're summoning into the world are not demons, but they're more like the Lovecraftian great old ones? Lovecraftian great old ones? Do you know what he's talking about? H.P. Lovecraft was an author. He was a writer of this weird horror science fiction type stuff.
Cthulhu or whatever.
H.P. Lovecraft was an American writer of weird fiction and horror fiction in the 1930s. H.P. Lovecraft created a number of deities throughout the course of his literary career, including the Great Old Ones and aliens such as the Elder Things, with sporadic references to other miscellaneous deities, whereas the Elder Gods are a later creation of other prolific writers such as August Derleth.
I don't even know how to say that.
Netflix hit series Stranger Things Monsters was inspired by H.P. Lovecraft. The Demogorgon of Stranger Things resembles the Night Gaunts.
But that's why they have this Stranger Things, to get us ready for whatever's coming.
So this transition is really, really massively important for our entire species to navigate. And going back to that thing that Sam Harris was saying, nobody is paying attention. This thing is happening in the background while people bicker about politics and what's going to be in the healthcare plan in the U.S. And underneath it all is this rising tsunami that, if we're not careful, is going to wipe us all out. Okay, so my previous company was D-Wave. I'll just show you a couple things. We build what are still the world's only quantum computers that you can buy. And the company D-Wave has been doing this, thanks. I didn't really have much to do with it.
It's funny, it's a black box, like
So
the cross and the thing that people have on their heads.
And a lot of interesting things happened to me over the years there. I got sent pajamas, a whole bunch of stuff. There's lots of interesting things that happen when you build something like a quantum computer. But just as an aside, because I thought it was funny, one of the interesting things that happened from the D-Wave story is there's this gigantic conspiracy that's arisen on the internet that goes like this. So D-Wave builds quantum computers. The way that they work, if you know how this works, is one of the interpretations is that you tap into these parallel universes and they do computations. Sounds really weird. But what's happened is this idea has been hijacked to describe something called the Mandela effect, which is this thing where the past changes. So think about something you know to be true from the past. And then imagine you went out on the internet and you can't find it at all. It's not there.
Like,
it doesn't match with
Well, get this on video. You remember the Berenstain Bears?
What was that?
Oh, you never heard of that before? The kids' book, Berenstain Bears?
No.
Okay, never mind.
with your experience. So these people think that D-Wave is responsible, and CERN. And of course, the quantum key to the abyss factors into it somehow. I'm not exactly sure how. Okay, so that's just D-Wave.
Hey, what's going on with y'all, man? It's Black Balloon, and I'm back with another video. So y'all already know what's going on. Look, alright, first off, I'm not gonna talk about the first clip that I put in this video. You know, that first clip of the guy, Anthony Patch, that was talking about, he was talking about DNA, and he was talking about you-know-what. I'm not going to talk about that just because I don't want to slip and say certain keywords and then end up getting this video took down or getting a strike. That part was kind of like, pretty self-explanatory as far as what's going on, you know what I'm saying? So, I don't think I need to just, keep talking about that part. Like I said, I'm not trying to catch no strikes. I'm not going to talk about that. Y'all can go back and just, rewatch it if you need to hear what he said again, you know what I'm saying? Just so you could catch a full understanding of what he was talking about. So once again, I'm not going to talk about that part, but I do want to talk about the Mandela effect and just kind of get my perspective on it and a few things throughout the video, right? To start off, some of those clips, well, most of those clips are kind of old. They're like a few years old. So if you ever dove down, like the CERN rabbit hole, the large Hadron Collider, if you ever dove down those rabbit holes and went into like the dimension stuff and parallel universes and all the AI, artificial intelligence stuff that's going on, you might have seen those clips. You might have heard of the guy Gordy Rose. You might have heard of Kendrick and D-Wave and all the good stuff that has to do with the quantum world. basically, the things that he was talking about in those clips, as far as how they are basically pulling knowledge from the other side, and how they are receiving help from, what I like, my opinion, I think, is fallen angels, and I'm sure a lot of people would agree with me, and we've talked about that on the channel before. So I felt like, it's important to go back and find those clips and bring that to the light, because it supports basically what I've been talking about in a few videos of mine, so it goes to show you that I'm not just talking bullshit when I sit here and say that, yeah, humans are smart. Yeah, we're smart, but we're not creating all this shit. That sounds familiar, right? Because I just said that in a few videos ago, where I was talking about the fact that a lot of this knowledge, a lot of this technology, it's already been done before.
That's what I think too. Yeah.
Things that
it's got to have
basically
been done
making
before.
us advance the way that we are as a civilization is we're basically pulling it from the other side. We're getting help. We're getting help from fallen angels. These, what did he say? The Lovecraftian old ones, as he said. That's why he said demons don't really, how did he say it? I forget. He basically just said demons don't really describe what they're actually.
It'll be the Antichrist they pull in.
What they're trying to pull into this realm by basically opening damn, I guess like the gates of hell, opening the bottomless pit, releasing, whatever is to come from the other side. You see what I'm saying? So they're basically, they're using this stuff. They're using the quantum world. They're using, as CERN and all of this stuff to pull resources, pull knowledge from the other side. Bring in, once again, these, so-called Lovecraftian old great ones, or whatever, these, who knows what kind of deities, so it's quite mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing because it's actually, you're hearing it from someone that's like directly involved in it. That's why I said I had to pull those clips in, so y'all not just thinking, this some random motherfucker with dreads talking bullshit, what I'm saying? Like, he's just making all this shit up. It's like, nah, these dudes, these super smart ass dudes, they really out here doing this shit. They really are in labs and shit, really trying to, like, I guess in a sense, like, if you look at the bigger picture, it's almost like they're trying to create their own universe without God.
Yeah, that's what I think too.
Because they would be fools to think that God don't exist.
Yeah, because they
just try to.
They want to. Once you know, have that kind of knowledge, you'll be able to know how to live forever.
I don't know, but I think overall.
Because
they want to create like their own universe, which is why they try to find the fabric of what created our universe. That's basically the point of CERN.
Yeah.
Outside of them communicating with the other side. The point is to find out what's the fabric of our universe made of.
That is what they're trying to find at CERN.
That's basically their goal. That's what they want to do. They want, it may sound like, some sci-fi type of shit, but they want their own universe without God. Basically, damn near without time. That's why they search for this stuff. That's the whole point. Is to find out what God used to create this universe. That's where you get matter and antimatter, the whole back and forth about all of that shit. But in this video we won't go too far into that. So oh yeah, I didn't really talk about the Mandela effect part, because in that last clip, Gordy, he was basically talking about how the internet basically turned his, like, his whole D-Wave Kindred thing and CERN, how basically the internet turned it into a conspiracy theory about the Mandela effect, saying that CERN and their attempts to basically access darker dimensions, their attempts to access different dimensions and access resources from those those dimensions, those possible parallel universes, that they basically, created some kind of like effect where, people are seeing the past differently from what they remember. We all know what the Mandela effect is. I don't really have to explain it to y'all. I'm pretty sure most of y'all have heard of the Mandela effect, and y'all probably have your own Mandela effects where you remember something to be one way and it actually never existed, just like myself. Because I remember Jiffy peanut butter. That's just the way I remember it. Jiffy peanut butter. Pikachu had a black tail. And there's a few other things that I happen to remember that was a part of my childhood that actually never existed. So there's a lot of us out there who've experienced this, like personally. You have things that you remember to be a certain way because in your childhood you're gonna remember that. But actually this shit never existed. So you find out you're a part of this huge crowd that remembers things to be one way when really it never existed, and this other crowd, they actually remember the part that never existed. The part that you think you remember, they remember what didn't exist. So they remember Jif peanut butter. We remember Jiffy peanut butter. I don't know if I worded that completely right, so if I kind of confused y'all, hopefully I did it right there, but basically, y'all get what I'm saying. There's the, let's just say this is a pool of 4 million people. 2 million people remember Jiffy peanut butter. 2 million people remember Jif peanut butter. So, that's kind of like a better example. And so, basically, the argument, the theories that a lot of people have is that dimensions have merged. Parallel universes merged somehow, which basically caused this portion of people to remember something one way and this portion to remember it another way. And it's kind of, honestly, nothing's been proven, obviously, because in your mind you're like, how the hell would you go back and change history on the internet? If Jiffy peanut butter existed, and it's on record everywhere throughout the history of the internet, how in the hell could you go back and change it? How could you go change a picture that was from 1984 that had Jiffy and put Jif and it like, goes all across the entire internet and Jiffy just doesn't exist anymore? You see, so that's what makes the Mandela effect mind-blowing, because it's almost impossible for someone to literally erase history unless it's not impossible. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I say it's so many different theories. Rather you want to believe that parallel universes actually merge with our world, and this is why people are remembering things differently, or you want to believe that you're having false memories. That's what they try to say. They try to say, oh, you're having a false memory and it's common. Like, no.
Yeah, but I was gonna say, if there's ever an intelligent, super smart computer, say in 20 years we're going to have a computer that can finally think for itself and be 100 million times smarter than us, right?
Yeah.
Do you think that computer, if it was that smart, like I'm talking smarter than you could ever imagine, smarter than any computer is now, like just million times smarter than would know every single information on the internet times 10, like, do you think it would be able to somehow go back in time to get us, to give us the knowledge and to start building it? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, do you think maybe somehow it manipulated people to do that thing at CERN or to start building computers?
If it does it,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're right. If it does it, if it goes back into time and give us the knowledge to create it.
Not knowledge, but like kind of like not even show itself, but like you know how you have some inventors that are just like they make 200 inventions.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like some people are born to invent and they invent like computers, and they've invented the internet. Like, some people are born like Elon Musk, like, you know what I mean? It's like, and they have like just somehow they're gonna be, and it's like people are like born like that, you know what I mean? It's weird, and it's like, but I'm saying like maybe that way, like just by giving them that drive, even like, do you think it would be able to go back in time to just put in that kind of idea in someone's head ever since birth to like, oh, I gotta build this, like Tesla or something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because Tesla like invented what he invented, which was mind blowing. Like, no one knew what like electricity, like it changed the world, right?
Exactly.
And he had that one invention and like nothing else, and just withered away and died alone. But he had like the most important invention in ever. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, it's strange.
It is.
Like when a musical artist always has one good album and then the rest suck. It's like almost like they were meant to be a celebrity for some reason.
Exactly.
I don't know. All right, yeah, that's a pretty good video.
Very scary too.
Scary. But have a great day. Like and subscribe.
Yeah, and comment down below what should we watch next.
Yes. Have a great day.
Peace.
Peace.